well, first, basically I come from a very religious background because my mom worked in the church, so I practically grew up in church. Since I was 4, I stayed in the church compound and we grew up there. But of course also then I was educated in convent schools, and vocation was never in my mind. Never. I want to enjoy life. I have many boyfriends. On a less serious note, I always say I don't want to disappoint my suitors. But then I always thought that I never felt called to the religious life. And I was quite active in church. Because I joined the choir, I joined the Legion of Mary, I helped out in youth groups, and I also help young people to discern vocation, and like we used to organize vocation activities in the parish. Just a group of young people, we do it, you see, every year, and still it never struck me to be a religious. Somehow or other, when I visited with my friend the Carmelite convent, and they told me, when are you entering the convent? Because at that time I was working already at Mount Alvernia Hospital. And then I said, me entering the convent, there's no way I will ever enter the convent. My friends used to tell me, if you enter the convent, you go in by the front door, they will come out the back door. That is to tell you how naughty I am, okay? Then they said, no. They asked me if I heard of the Daughters of St. Paul. And I said, yeah, I've seen them coming to Singapore because they were based in Malaysia then. And then they said, okay, I will give you their address. By the time I already left the hospital, I was working in with a private doctor, doing plastic surgery. That's where my beauty is, huh? And then she gave me the address, so I said, no, I'm not interested, I just take. Then one day, I was quite free, so I decided to write for the fun of writing, just be curious to see what they are doing. And I wrote in. Then, on another occasion, I went back to the Carmelite, because every year they have feast day, they have celebrations. So I used to go out with my friends, a group of us, we go and visit them, chit-chat with the sisters. So, have you written to them? So I told her, I was very shocked. See, I told you, I have no vocation. They never replied even my letter. But that night when I went back, the letter arrived. So I said, oh, it cannot be that way, right? Then I said, anyway, because they said they had to change of personnel in the community, the person in charge of vocations was transferred out, another person was transferred in. So this person was in touch with me. And then I said, okay. And she, in her letter was so cute, she wrote that she invited me to stay with them in Malaysia. I said, oh, okay, no harm trying, right? It's just for fun. But they're in Malaysia. So, I wasn't 21 yet, okay? Then I had to go to Malaysia. But I had to give an excuse to my mother, right?
Yeah, how young were you?
I was about 20. Then I told my mother, I have relatives in Malaysia. I'm going to visit my auntie. I did not tell them that I'm going to the sisters, you know. So I decided to take a trip up and see how curious these people are and what they are doing out of curiosity. I said, no, I'm trying. I take it as a holiday. So I invited a friend of mine who came along with me. And I went. And apparently, somehow or other, God shows His way. So when I went there, normally they don't open the gates so early at 8 something. But because 2 sisters went out, so the gate was open and I went right into the house. I told my cousin to bring us there. I went right into the house. And I said I wanted to see this person without introducing myself. So I went on a pretense that, oh, I'm coming to see some books. Because I'm also frightened, you know, shy. And I dare not tell, because I'm not sure whether I want to enter. You know, it's just for curiosity. And then I went to the bookshop. And then after that she told me, because earlier on she did ask me to send her a photo. So I did send her a photo. And after that she said, you know, you look very familiar. I said, then after that she started talking like that. Yeah, that's a photo that I sent. And we started conversation. And I left my friend in the bookshop. And then after that, two of her other sisters came back. And they invited me for lunch. You know, that friendly atmosphere that I had. And then after that, okay, after lunch we went home. And I came back to Singapore. Somehow or other there is kind of, wow, I felt that experience was quite friendly and homely. At the first visit, I'm treated like as though we've known each other for years, you know. And so after that, I kept going back. And then I wanted to experience with them what their prayer life is, what their life is all about. Because, you know, going with my friends, it's like you cannot experience everything because I have a friend who went on holiday with me, you know. So I decided to go back again. But then, of course, I have to take leave each time, so limited, you know. Then we kept in correspondence. Then after that, I said, okay. They asked me, do you want to enter? I said, but there's something that is moving inside. So I said, okay, I want to experience their apostolic life. So they gave me an experience of going to the schools with our books, then going to the homes, the offices. And it was so strange because when we did the the office visitation, then the sister told me, you know, there's many times this IBM building that we went. And she said, many times we never get to go in. They don't give us the permission. Apparently that time we went in, they changed the security guard, and the security guard happened to be a Catholic. And they brought us in to see the manager. And they will allow us to go and visit everybody, the staff, you know, with our books, because, you know, our books are formative and all that, and they can help in the families and all that. And I was so surprised that, you know, the response was so good, you know, that the people we encountered in the offices, in their desks, and they were so happy, and not only that, we were even offered lunch. And so my friend, the sister who accompanied me said, God must be saying something. I said, no, I'm not making any decision yet. The following time, I said, okay, we'll do the home-to-home visitation. We visit the families with our bags of books, you know. It was hot sun. Nobody accepted us. We were rejected and rejected and rejected. So I told that sister that, well, this is the final house. If we are being rejected, that means St. Paul don't want me to enter the convent. But if he really wants me to enter the convent, he will show me the way. So we said, this is the final house. I told the sister, it's like putting conditions. After that, we rang the bell. There are two doors, one at the side, one at the front, you know. The side, the person, nobody is at home, nobody is at home. Then the front, the owner of the house came. Oh, sisters, please come in, please come in. I said, oh, that's it. I cannot take back my words, you know. She took most of our books. She offered us a drink and she sent us home.
Okay.
So
confirm joy.
So I said, now. Then the sister said, what do you think now? I said, let me pray about it. I said, you know, these are like signs where you want to challenge the Lord, thinking you can get away from it. But He put ways to show you that He is the one in charge, not me. You know, so I said, okay. Then I came back after a while, period of time. I said, okay, since I cannot take back my word, and I prayed about it, and this is what really the Lord wants. He calls, not me. I have been trying to say this is not my vocation, this is not my life, but He shows the way. And so I entered.
So when you entered, where was your formation?
I entered in the Philippines. Life wasn't easy because being a foreigner there, and most of them are Filipinos and they speak different. But the Lord gives you the strength, and sometimes you know the struggles of different of culture. And that time, during those times in the 80s, the church, the congregations are not like today, we're so open, you know. They're still a bit more conservative. And then the struggles with language, but God will give you the grace to overcome it. And the following year, they transferred me to Taiwan. So I stayed for about 5 years in Taiwan for my formation. Then I went over to Hong Kong. And I think in all these years, God assures your vocation. It's not me. You know, there are joys, there are lots of joys and there are lots of difficulties, like in any walk of life. Nobody can say that married life has no problem. But I always think that if I have given God the first choice, I will not regret. You know, I always tell people, young people, if you give God the first choice, if it's not your way of life, you can always change. But if you're married and you find that it's not suitable for you, you can't turn back. So then you can see God's hand leading you all the time. So in difficulties, He is there. In joys, He is there. And then, you know, the fulfillment, the joy of reaching out to people. You know, one very beautiful experience which I had in Hong Kong was we went to the offices. One time this lady, I went to the office and, you know, to please us, she got a book on something like Pretty As You Please, the kind of formation book, you know. And surprising, I was away. I came back after 3 years. I happened to be visiting there, and there was a phone call I picked up, and she asked who am I. So I told her who I am, and she told me, do you remember you came to my office? I said, vaguely I can remember. And she said, now my whole family is a Catholic, and I'm very active in church. I think it's like what our founder always said, maybe you do things, our work, you may not see results, like in a school student pass the exam. It's a joy when you know, as a teacher, it's joyful because you know that what you have taught is well understood. But in our nature of work, you don't know the results, and we don't expect. We bring them to the Lord through our prayer. The people whom we meet, we bring them to our prayer. And that's where it is. Sometimes you get a reply from people that how their life has changed. And this is the work of God. Like the founders, we plant the seed. The Lord takes care of the watering. And it's so beautiful when you see this kind of results. There's nothing that we can do except to thank God. And we pray for these people to grow closer to God each day.
Really like being planted and then God waters each time.
Yeah, so the different people you encounter, I think being a religious is more of an experience and a witness of life. How we witness of our life to people. That when we're in front, people must feel they're being drawn to God through our examples and our way of life. In these small countries, yes, our work is more or less the same. But in the Philippines, of course, I wasn't involved. We have radio programs, TV mass, and here also I do some film work, like film retreats. And so it's like the scope of media is very wide. So we do what we can, and depending on how many people we have in the community, I mean, we cannot pretend to do a lot when we are just few, you know. So we do what we can, and in whatever way we can, depending on, some of us may be well trained in the area of media, some of us may be less. Not everyone is being trained, there's this specialization, you know. And also sometimes opportunities are given, but sometimes we may not want.
How do you describe a family in the secular world versus a family in the sisterhood?
Okay, a family in a secular world and a family in a community, religious community, I would say is still a family. The only thing is, family in a secular world, maybe we're not so focused on God. We live life as a community. We come, we go, we work, you know, our lifestyle. Brothers and sisters, of course we are blood brothers and sisters. Still, there are differences. Sometimes we get upset with one another. Still, we have fun together as a family. Community is the same, except that in a community, maybe we can say that Maybe we're a bit more forgiving because we have a God in our life. Sometimes in families, they also experience this. But if the family doesn't have a God as a center in their life, then the approach to each person again is different. You see, in a family you have your parents. That's why you give your respect to your parents. Same in a community with our elderly sisters. So I think the difference here would be how much, if it's a Catholic family, okay, how much do we have God in the family? Is God the center of our life? Do we pray as a family, which is very lacking today? I mean, if it's not a Catholic family, I think we can tend towards more the materialistic side.
Even in Catholic families also.
Even in
like
Catholic.
For my family lah. That's
Yeah.
why I just go to church.
Yeah.
Because
But I think sometimes as Catholic families, we can even do more. You know, I always tell people, when we get up in the morning, do we pray? You don't have to pray long, say long prayer. Like when I give media, I always tell them, who is our God? We come back from work. What do we switch on first? Our TV. We have our TV LCD as big as possible, and we have our altar in one corner. So who is the God of our life? The media. The media tells us what to buy. Without realizing whether we have at home or not, we buy because it's discount. But then after that, when you come back, you say, I have so many things. That's paying out to the advertisers. And then to the God, the altar. Maybe we don't even look at it. So when I always tell people, I say, first thing you get up in the morning, just stand before the altar. You don't have to say long prayers. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If can, 5 minutes, even better. Just to thank God for the gift of life, for the gift of a new day. Many things happen to people who may not even get up from their sleep, who may not even come home. But this is something thankful, and to ask for the grace to live throughout the day. And for you as a student, if you are going out, to be safe on the road, just a short prayer for the gift that you are able to live another day. For the gift of your parents who are there, your brothers and sisters who are there. And in the evening, when you come home, just stand at the altar. Thank God that you are safely home. Many things could have happened on the road, which we all know. But just a few minutes of thanksgiving. I always tell people that, and they find it's true, it's very meaningful. But unless we practice it, God has given us so many hours. We at the Catholic Church, we are very fortunate. We have Mass every day. Can we not give that half an hour? Just half an hour, and you'll find that how much graces you receive back in the end.
It's very true.
It's very true because we say we have no time. I always tell people, everybody has no time. But what is our priority? The things that we like to do, no matter how busy we are, we do, And the things that we don't like to do, no time is the word. What's the real meaning of no time? It's just not my priority. You should take the opportunity as and when you can.
Yeah,
and then you ask for graces, for your studies and all that. Because sometimes we credit our intelligence, we forget that it's God who gave us the intelligence, So we say put God in the center of your life. Even if you don't go for Mass, never mind. At least before you go to bed, or you get up in the morning, start the day with the Word of God. You have the Bible or your whatever reflections on your table, so you can spend just 5 minutes. And as you're traveling, you can pray, you can think that, what is the Word of God telling me today? What is the challenge of me today? So it's like, okay, we can't go for Mass, but at least we can spend that 5-10 minutes, as I said before, the altar, start the day with the Word of God.
I feel that coming to a community and then there are so many rules, structured timetables, how does it feel?
I think in every walk of life you have rules and structures. I work in a hospital, I work in a clinic. If you work in the offices, you still have all this. You have your boss, you have your immediate boss, you have your subordinates, and you have to communicate to them whether you like it or not, you know. But I think in the spirit, for us, it's not whether we like it or not. We have chosen this life. And it shouldn't be a kind of a stumbling block, because you practice it with joy. I mean, in a family, you need to go out, you have to tell your mom and dad, Mom, I'm going out, right? You need something from your dad, you are not earning now. You still have to ask the permission. You can't spend as you like. Even if you are working, you can't spend as you like. Maybe we don't look at poverty in that sense of, you know, I can buy what I want. But I think there's no restrictions. If you feel that you need to buy, you buy. If you feel you need to have the money, the superior is not going to say, no, you cannot have. But we are adults. You have taken the vows, you have chose to live this life. It shouldn't be a stumbling block. It should be a life you enjoy, because wherever you go, rules and regulations will always be there. Even on the streets that you walk, even in Singapore. But we have a spiritual life. So these rules and regulations are a means to help us to live our life. Because it's a choice of life. These are only, I mean, if you talk about rules, even curfew hours, you cannot go here, then we have to examine ourselves. I have chosen this life, and I'm supposed to be a witness for people outside. So if I choose to do otherwise, then I have to reflect on myself and say, why am I here? But our congregation is quite open in that sense that all these rules, we have to ask the superior permission. Of course, if you need to go out, you have to ask permission to say, okay. But sometimes we have to ask, where am I going? What am I doing? Because if anything should happen to you outside, at least the superior knows where you are. There's also information. Because if you don't tell, and if anything should happen to you, she's answerable for it. Or your co-sisters are answerable for it. So it's a mutual trust and also acceptance of one another to inform where you are going, to inform what you are doing. It's a sharing. So that's where the beauty is. You know, well, so superiors are not there like policemen. So actually, time for meals, time for waking up, is a means to help us to grow.
And it's seen throughout all the different places.
No, I think different communities have different settings in the sense that the rules, okay, prayer time, each community will have to see what their prayer time is according to their work. Some will have it at 7 o'clock because most people will come back from our work at 7. Like here we have it at 6:45. Then we have Thursday is our community day where we have meetings, we have an hour of recreation together. Because other days we're all busy to each their own in the sense we only meet for meal time, breakfast time,
So
daytime,
you
some
live together.
we live together, but because in the sense that I'm out working in a bookshop in Toa Payoh. Sister may be running another errand somewhere else. So we usually have, after our morning prayer, we have breakfast together and then dinner time together. But like for me, if I'm taking a bus back from Toa Payoh, I won't be back in time for dinner. So we have one day like Thursday where everybody is at home to exchange information, you know, some studies together, an hour of recreation together. Because during the weekdays at night, sometimes after night prayer, some people might want to do their own work, some people might want to read, some people might want to, you know. So we may have a day where we all stay together and have time together.
Do you still keep in contact with your family?
Yes.
So
My mom has passed on for many years. So my brothers and sisters, of course we don't meet very often because everybody has their own family. But big occasions and all that, we still meet. Yeah, like for example, like my sister recently had an operation, so try to be there for her also because she also has her own family. But you know, being together, actually, I will put it, our families are our community's extended family. Your father and mother we become her daughters like you two. So they are extended families. So they are our blood brothers and sisters. They're still part of the family. And we still keep in touch very often. We don't cut off relationship from our families. So that's the beauty of it. They become a part of our family. Yeah. It's supposed to be. In many, many years, olden days, maybe pre-Vatican, once you enter religious life, you are cut off. But today, without them, you won't be here. How can you cut them off?
Curious question, was your mom okay when you joined the religious life?
Not really. I think this is the question that everybody will. But at the end of the day, I always tell parents, encourage your children to walk on the path that will lead them to happiness. Parents may object because they want to see the happiness of their child. My mom did not accept the dimming because she has friends who entered the Carmelites long before and left. So her worry was, I may not be happy. But later on, she accepted it.
And she saw that you were happy?
Yes. So that's why I always tell parents, help and guide your children to walk on the path of their happiness. Because you're not going to live for them. You're not going to be there for them forever. They will leave us one day. We still have to live our life. That's why sometimes young people, when they want to enter the convent, and they say, my parents don't allow, I have to look after them. Right? But how long are you going to look after them? By the time they leave, you may be too old, and who is going to look after you? So I tell parents, be open. Be open. If marriage will make you happy, the young people, go ahead. But give God the first choice. And if you feel that this is not your way of life, then you seek the next life. As long as you must be open to the road that will lead you to happiness. And that's what God wants, to see us happy. Parents will object. Even if you have a boyfriend and you want to get married, your parents will still object, maybe they don't like the boy. So in whatever life you choose, if you're single, again, they will not be happy with it. My daughter not getting married. So I think it's a matter of helping them to understand what will make me most happy in life. And if I'm happy, I can give my best. That's the most important. Because where I'm happy, I can give my best to God and to people.